coming today to share in this celebration for the church. This is a celebration of our 5th anniversary today. So it's going to be us giving back to everybody here for coming and supporting us, whether it's the first time you're here or the 50th time you're here, you've made a difference. So it's going to be a special program today of music. We have a short lecture from somebody you've never seen or heard before, Ron Palumbo in the back there. He's going to step up and do a short lecture after the thought for the day. And then the rest of the service will be clairvoyant demonstrations of message bearing. So, and there's going to be music in between each of the presenters, so it's going to be a celebration today. Plus we have all that wonderful food back there. I'd like to think you guys came for the service, but you probably came for the food not tonight. So, whatever gets them in the door, right? I'd like to have Mandy, would you like to light the candles today? You haven't been here in a while.
You want to come help Nanny light the candle?
This is Mandy. She's her and her husband have been students of mine for quite a while. They hail from the other side of the state. Came quite a ways here today. Who's your assistant? What's her name?
Emma.
Emma. Thank you. Enjoy yourselves and have a good time. I'd like you to stand for the opening prayer and the main standing for the first hymn. Dear Father God, we give thanks for this moment here today. As we relax our minds, be here now, and feel that unlimited love, joy, and peace that is here from the Spirit's side. And we feel that first within ourselves and express it outwardly to those around us in thought, word, and deed. May we enjoy all that is here today, the fellowship, the demonstration of Spirit, and the food. And may we have our minds and souls lifted by it. For those of you that don't know, Ronnie was the original co-founder of the church here, and I've spoken a couple times about me, him, and Judy Stetson being the only three here once or twice in the beginning. So he was one of the ones. He said, "What are we going to do, Steve?" And I said, "Well, as long as I come, I can lecture to you, you can play the music, and Judy will be the audience." So it's come a long way in 5 years, thanks to everybody being drawn to this and putting their love and hope into it and coming back and sharing and giving, and it's just been a wonderful time. This church is the sum total of everybody's intention, everybody's attendance, everything that everybody's come here with a need or something to give. It's all made a difference. Whether you needed something or gave something, sometimes you did both at different times, and that's what's made it what it is. We've all taken this empty room up here from 5 years ago and made it to what it is today, which is a wonderful place of hope that people come to, of joy that people come to. And it's always been that for people that have come here in the last 5 years. And I just want to thank you all for what you do. There's a lot of trust in the room. There's a lot of hope given to people that come here. I've had people come from other states. I've had people leave here and go to other churches and say that, while they were nice, they weren't the same thing. So everything that you bring with you, everything that you project out makes a difference here. We're going to do, like I said, a variated service today, an amended service, but I will do a short thought for the day like I always do. And this is where I take some of my spiritual knowledge and try to put it into practice into the world around me, because we all know it's nice to learn these things in groups of like-minded people, but when you go out there and run head-on into the world full of people that are not like-minded, that's where the challenge comes in, because our instincts come into play. We begin to be fearful. We haven't really developed a trust with that which we've been told or even believe until we put it into practice. So it's taking spiritual knowledge and making it into spiritual wisdom, where you actually have the practical application to the world around you. And some of the things that have come to me in this past week are falling into old patterns and old habits. When I encounter old people from the past, I had a very difficult past for about 20, 25 years, and I still run into people from that time period. They don't quite cross the street anymore to avoid me like they used to, but they still have that sideways look when they're standing there talking to me, just making sure that the old me's not still around. So, but when you do encounter those people, that old you starts to percolate back to the surface sometimes. The old way of talking, the old way of relating. So you have to kind of reel that back in. You can't let situations and people drive you. You have to let your spiritual commitment and your spiritual belief drive you. Because what happens is when you meet old situations, and I spoke a little bit about this last week, about re-engaging in jobs or relationships from the past, whether it's a week, a year, a month, whatever it is. When you re-engage with those old relationships, you have to see the newness of them today. What's new today for me? Not what go back to anything. It's got to be an unfoldment, an evolution moving forward of what's there for you today. And the only way you can see that is by not reacting in the old fashion. And that's the first reaction that we tend to have. It percolates back to the surface. It's what we know is familiar, not these new spiritual thoughts or these new spiritual disciplines that come in. They kind of get pushed back immediately because of the instinctual us, the human us that comes out. And you have to kind of remind yourself, and that's how spiritual development for me works, is I take in a new principle, the old me starts to step forward, and then I remember what I'm supposed to be bringing forward. And I stop that filter of the old me and try to bring in the new me. Sometimes it's more immediate than others. Sometimes it's in retrospection of having acted like the old me, and I remember how I should have acted. And at that point is the most difficult part of all of it, because if you beat yourself up for acting like you used to be, you lose the benefit of that. You reinforce the old you when you, oh, I'm just not where I should be. I'm not the spiritual person I profess to be. And that's just not true. It's just an old pattern that automatically comes to the front. Don't deny your spiritual self because of an immediate reaction to situations like that. Always trust, always positive, build yourself spiritually. Well, yeah, I didn't act right then, but I know how to act in the next go-round, and I commit to doing that next time. Always move forward. Don't be bound by the past. Don't forget the past, but don't be bound by it. That's the deal with the past. Albert Einstein, I got this on the bottom of all my emails at work, and I email everybody from the CEO down to federal agencies, and on the bottom it says, doing the same thing over and over again is a definition of insanity, and it's a quote from Albert Einstein. So we have to change what we do if we want different results. And a group I was with that helped me stop drinking at one time said that that's the same thing. If you don't like what you're getting, change how you're acting is one of their sayings. And if you don't, if the world looks dark and stinks, you probably got your head up here, you know what. So there's a lot of interesting sayings that come from that. And it always puts the responsibility back on self. You can't blame what you do. You can't justify what you do by what is in front of you. You are responsible for everything you say, everything you do, every time you do it. If you kill somebody in self-defense, you still killed a person. I don't care what the reason was, and you have to deal with that. If you act inappropriately because they did that, you have still acted inappropriately. You've denied the trust in God when you do that. So you have to accept that. Yes, I did act like that. Don't justify it. Don't push it down the road. Don't kick the can down the road. Pick it up and say, yep, that's what I did. Own it, and you can get by it. So there's a lot of self-teaching that goes on, most of the progression that goes on spiritually is between your ears and the privacy of your own home. That's where the greatest spiritual progression is made. I just ask you to think about these things in the coming days, and thank you for listening. Please stand for the next thing.
Okay, I got the new sheet now. Hymn number 18. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got peace like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. Yeah, I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul.
The next portion will be contact, spiritual healing portion. Please join me if you wish to. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God.
Good morning. Good morning. Let's get ready for the meditation. Find a comfortable position to sit. Feet straight on the floor. Arms up in your lap. You may close your eyes. Take in a deep breath, inhale through the nose and exhale. Take in another deep breath. And with your exhale, just let go if there is any tension in your physical body. Let go of the thoughts that are occupying your mind. If you have any worries, any concerns at this time, with your exhale, just breathe it out and let it go. Bring your awareness to your breath. And connect with the mechanism of your breath. While you breathe in and out, feel the flow of your breath that is flowing gently throughout your entire body. Feel your body becoming more and more relaxed and your mind quiet. Just feel this peaceful sensation. Feel the quietness. Feel your breath that is connecting you deeper and deeper within yourself to a very quiet presence that feels calm and soothing. Connect with this peaceful presence and feel the flow of your peaceful breath. Feel the whisper. Listen to your breath. Echoing. I am at peace within. I am at peace without. Just feel the motion of your peace that is flowing and nurturing your entire body, your mind, and spirit. Slowly become aware of your heart chakra. Your heart chakra in the center of your chest. While you breathe in and out, feel your heart chakra expand and contracting. See your heart chakra opening up like a beautiful lotus with multiple petals. See those petals opening and multiplying and expanding. And as you look deeper to the core of your heart, you will see your essence. God is love, and love is your essence. Connect with your essence. As you connect, you feel God's unconditional love in a form of pink rose energy pouring out from the core of your heart. Feel God's loving energy flowing from within and without. Feel this pure love energy embracing you, comforting you, and healing you. Feel the warmth and the gentleness of this pure, unconditional love energy that is capable of loving everyone, including yourself. Connect to your sacred heart. Connect to the infinite love of God that is dominant within your heart. And just feel this powerful healing energy that is healing your entire body, your mind, your spirit. There is one true power, and that is the power of love. It is through love we are able to forgive. And through forgiveness we are able to heal. As you embrace God's powerful love, let go and forgive all those who have hurt you, those who have disappointed you, those who have caused you pain and suffering. Forgive and let go. And feel God's unconditional love filling those empty spots within your heart, within your consciousness. Sense the inner freedom and the joy and the happiness that you are experiencing as you release and let go. And you feel that connection even stronger within your heart. Have a compassionate heart, loving and gentle heart. And feel this loving energy expanding and connecting to the person next to you. See this energy filling this entire room. And extending further out. See this beautiful, unconditional love energy extending to the universe. Envision Mother Earth and humanity everywhere are being touched and embraced with God's unconditional love and compassion. See this energy floating everywhere, through the nature, through the ocean, the animals, the plants. It is moving gently and flowing everywhere. As it moves, it creates the vibrations of love everywhere. Feel the connection with everyone, with everything. Feel the power of this loving energy, uniting humanity. God's unconditional love that is connecting each one of us as one consciousness, a collective consciousness, a universal consciousness with the essence of universal love. Feel that oneness and know that we are one. We are one. I am you and you are me. We are one. And in this unity, we all live in harmony and peace. Because we are one. We are one. Feel that oneness consciousness in your heart and embrace it. See it becoming part of your reality every day. Connecting with everyone through their heart, their essence, the sacredness and the pureness of their spirits. Feel those vibrations settling down in your physical body, in your physical reality. And wherever you are, be the gift of love that you are. Wherever you are, be the love that you are. Feel this beautiful and gentle, loving energy swirling around you. If you know anyone that is in need for healing at this time, focus on your heart and send this God's loving energy to that person. If you know anyone that is going through challenges, difficulties, just direct this energy to that person, to the situation that you would like to see it transformed for better. Feel your energy reaching. They are also filled with God's unconditional love. Believe in your heart that you have the power to heal yourself and others. Embrace your divinity. Embrace your wholeness. And be the light that you are. And be the love that you are. motion of your peace that is bringing you back slowly. Back to your physical body, engage with your physical senses. Come back to the here and now. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
I'll close this portion with an inspirational reading from the book God Calling. The lifeline, the line of rescue, is the line from the soul to God. On one end of the lifeline is our faith and trust, and on the other end is God's power. It can be a strong line, and no soul can be overwhelmed who is linked but to God by it. I will look to God for help and trust Him for aid when I am emotionally upset. No emotional upset or troubles can bother me during this time. Thank you. Please stand for the next hymn.
Okay. I want to dedicate this song to a friend that just passed Friday. One of her favorite songs. And she used to do the echo, so if you'll do the echo on this, we'll have some fun with it, all right? And Susan Wilkins, a good friend of mine, and her husband and I used to play at a couple of different churches together. And whenever we did this song, it used to tick the pastor off at this other church. I won't mention the name, because Susan was way in the back, and when I'd go, "Oh, when the saints," she'd go, "Oh, when the saints," and you could hear her all the way to the front over everybody. So guess what hymn? Number 9. Oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when those bells begin to chime, oh, when the bells begin to chime, oh, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in. Oh, thanks for chiming in. Please be seated.
The next part of the service will be an inspirational talk from Ron Palumbo. I never met him before today, spoke to him on the phone a couple of times. He is doing a workshop after the church service at 1 o'clock. Probably going to run into our potluck lunch because I think they moved him up here. So I'd like to, I don't really know too much about Ron. He is, his workshop's going to be on the law of attraction, using the law of attraction wisely. It's a 3-hour workshop with a workbook. And I'll let him give a little intro to himself since I don't know much about him. But welcome, Ron Palumbo.
Well, there's not really that much interesting stuff about me, but why don't I just give you a little spiel about the workshop this afternoon, and then we'll do the lesson, okay? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, the workshop is really, does anybody here?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah, ran over, so.
Oh, okay. Okay, this doesn't count as part of it though, right? This is the promo part. Okay. Does anybody here have any area of life that you'd like to have any improvement in? Okay, everybody needs this workshop, and I'm going to tell you why. Everybody uses the law of attraction, and the reason I've called my workshop, I've been doing it for over 25 years, the reason I call it using the law of attraction wisely is because most of us inadvertently and unknowingly misdirect our energy. So what we do in our Law of Attraction workshop is I teach people the big picture of life and why it works exactly the way it works. And we go through some processes, some very simple processes that literally take out the bad programming in our subconscious, take out the old hurts and the old wounds for once and for all, takes you off the hook for things that you've done in the past that you shouldn't have done. Anybody here ever in that boat? How about this? Takes out all negative energy between you and any other person alive or dead. People have had physical healings, relationship healings. People have gotten more jobs, more work, better jobs, increased income. And so many of my workshop attendees have been asking me for years, Ron, where can I buy your book? They say it's the best workshop ever and the most powerful thing they've ever experienced. So I finally wrote the book. So here's the deal. Between 1 and 4, we're going to be doing this workshop today. If you can make it, please be here. If you can't make it, cancel your plans and come anyway. And if you really can't make it, the book is available. I have a few copies of the book, and it'll be available after the service. Okay, enough of that. If you have any questions on that, see me after the service. Now, what I want to do is share a story with you. There was an abbot that came to this monastery. It had about 40 monks. And I want to share the story, but I'm going to need your help to share it with me. Are you guys cooperative and helpful?
No.
Yes.
No? Okay. Wow. Steve, you were fibbing to me about this group. Okay, here's the deal. The abbot actually didn't want to become a monk. He had an idea growing up that he was going to become an opera singer. Now, Steve could attest to this. A lot of people are in ministry, do not think they're going to become ministers or monks or whatever. They have other ideas. So this abbot still hung on to his little dream about that. So in the morning, when the monks got up, they did their vespers, for an hour and a half, whatever, and then they went to breakfast about 7:30. And the abbot was at the head table, and he would stand up, and he would sing out to his congregation of monks, "Good morning." And all the monks had to sing back, "Good morning." You've been to this monastery. I like that. Anyway, what happened is people loved this initially. But every now and then people get, when you have a routine and it goes on and on and on and on after weeks and months maybe, some people get frustrated with that. So one monk was getting very frustrated. So this morning, the abbot stands up and he sings out, "Good morning." And all of his monks sang back, "Good morning." Except our frustrated monk. He sang out, "Good evening." Now, even though there's like 40 monks singing "Good morning," the abbot heard the dissonance, the disharmony. And he looked out at his congregation of monks and he said, "Someone chanted evening." I love that story because, has anybody here ever heard of Eric Butterworth? Yes. Okay. Eric Butterworth was one of my great gurus. And he actually wanted to be an opera singer. And he ended up being a minister. So that story is near and dear to my heart because of Eric. But what happens in our lives when we have some disharmony, some chaos? Ever have a situation where you have several choices and you're not sure which way to go? So what do we do when we're in a situation like this where there's disharmony, chaos, confusion, all of the human things that we go through? How do we deal with that? I'll give you a hint. The key is the first 4 words of Scripture. Does anybody know the first 4 words of Scripture?
In the beginning there was light.
In the beginning, God. Somebody over here said it. In the beginning, God. So the bottom line is, and with today's lesson, this very brief lesson that's now 1:30, even less than what we were going to do, it's basically all about us putting God first. Putting this divine presence first. It's really important for us to understand that we are created in the image and likeness of this divine entity. And the bottom line is, the entity is unconditional love. And so Steve talked about it a little bit. The lady who did the meditation talked about it a little bit. It's all about love. So when we put God first or love first, I call it our highest power. And my favorite definition of this divine presence is love. In fact, I think that's the solution to everything. There's a scripture verse that says, whatever is born of God conquers the world. That's in 1 John chapter 5, verse 4. Whatever is born of God conquers the world. Do you believe that? Anybody believe it? Okay. By a majority of 2 nods to nothing, we're going to say you guys believe it. All right, let's try this affirmation. Let's say, I can talk. Can we say that? I can talk. Okay, so if I ask you a question, you can answer it. It's okay. If you don't know the answer, it's okay too. The bottom line is, if we put God first, or love first, our life starts changing dramatically for the better. And this is really important. I put God at the beginning of everything I do. Let's say this together. I put God at the beginning of everything I do. I put God at the beginning of every activity. I put God at the beginning of every activity. I put God at the beginning of every action. I put God at the beginning of every action. Steve touched on how we are all driven by habit patterns. All of us have this. We all have these programs inside of us, and this is how we act. We actually have given up much of our free will as adults to programs we started as children and young adults. And we had probably had great reasons for it, but we've given up a lot of our free will because now what we do is we just react to things from habit pattern. Steve said it a little bit differently, but that's kind of what we all do. And that's one of the things that's really unfortunate, because if we really are able to see the truth of who we are so much bigger and so much brighter than how we have lived our life up to this point. And we are just amazing beings, but we all are kind of falling short on knowing our true identity. In fact, one of the things I'd like to do is have us just test out the truth of who we are. And here's the truth of who every one of us is. I am a beautiful, beloved, empowered child of God. I'm going to say it again and invite us to say it together. I am a beautiful, beloved, empowered child of God. Dear ones, that's who we really are. So let's just take a second. Feel the energy when we say this. Just feel how you feel when you say this. Together, I am a beautiful, beloved, empowered child of God. Let's say that again. I am a beautiful, beloved, empowered child of God. Dear ones, that's who we really are. And the really great thing about this, as we I'm going to invite you to just kind of use this affirmation for several times a day from now on. As we kind of really open our mind up to this at higher and higher levels, well, let me ask you a question. How many people would like to have more love in their life? How many people would like to have a little bit more respect in their lives? Here's what happens. As we really get the truth of who we are, we start treating ourselves more lovingly. We treat ourselves more respectfully. And this is what I've observed. That within a period of time, once we really get who we are, we start acting at a higher level of our true identity. We're going to know who every other person that we interact with is. Whether they're pushing our buttons or what used to push our buttons, or they are coming from a higher consciousness or a totally unaware consciousness or totally asleep consciousness, it doesn't matter. We're all these beloved beings of the divine. And it's all about waking up to the truth of who we are. I have been for years preaching that the reason we have so much challenges on our planet is because we're going through a global identity crisis. So I'm going to just close with this one thing. And we've touched on it, but this is really, I think, is just perfect. There is no path greater than love. There is no religion clearer than love. There is no law higher than love. And there's no goal beyond love. Dear ones, God is love. And we are created in that image and likeness of love. And so, as we wake up to our true identity, we wake up to treating ourselves more lovingly, more respectfully, and that will translate out to how we start treating everybody else at a higher level. So God bless you and thank you.
Thank you.